Hi, I am Don.
And I'm Adam.
Yeah, Bo wanted to be here. He really did. But
Yeah,
you
he
know,
did, but with
He didn't actually.
with the coronavirus, we're all taking precautions aside Dawn and I.
Well,
Apparently.
we're essential workers, so we're going to get it eventually
Yeah.
anyway.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, my last probably.
So your last.
God willing.
So in this lockdown, we're kind of going through some old games.
There's a lot of kids. You know what? Okay, if school just ended.
Yep.
When we were in 5th grade.
Yeah.
4th grade.
Yeah.
What we have been doing?
We would have been playing GoldenEye 007 for the Nintendo 64.
Yeah. I'm a little bit, I'm a little bit peeved that this happened now.
Yeah, really.
I mean, it couldn't have happened under, a functioning CDC or something. Yeah, that would have been handy too.
That would have. That would have been
nice.
No, I wasted a lot of time on GoldenEye 64.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't remember if it's actually called GoldenEye 64. It's just GoldenEye 007.
Something like and it had like that cover with the gorilla lips.
Yeah.
Yeah, with his fingers. Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I played the game before I even realized it was a movie. Like, that's what got me into James Bond.
My first introduction to GoldenEye 64 was my first introduction to James Bond and the N64 itself.
Really?
I did not when Cody told me about GoldenEye 64. Oh, it's like a shooter. Oh, yeah, I played shooter. I played RoboCop for the SNES.
Right.
It's a 2D side scroller. Right. That sounds really cool.
I've done the arcade Area 51.
You're breaking my mind right now.
Yeah.
What's this three? There's only 2 dimensions.
Yeah.
I live like in like the 50s, black and white, and suddenly I'm in color.
Yeah, it was the equivalent of going from Mario side scroller to the Mario 64,
which also blew my mind.
That one really blew
Cody's
my mind.
4th grade birthday party blew my mind in a lot of ways. Also, Papa John's. I never had Papa John's before.
Oh my gosh! Do you remember how the story in 007 goes?
The GoldenEye?
Yeah.
Yeah, more or less. It's also it is worth noting that we are children of the 90s, but we were born while the Soviet Union was still technically a thing. The wall came down while we were like in Rugrats was happening.
Was that 89?
It's around. I don't pin me on a
all right.
date right now. I'm not. Yeah, it sounds right. Anyway, point is, James Bond as a series is really heavily grounded in the Cold War. GoldenEye is probably my favorite movie, having actually gone back and seen so many of them, because it's very much, okay, Cold War is over.
Yeah.
How do we address that?
Yeah.
Because the original author of the Bond books, Ian Fleming, was a spy during World War II.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, of course, you can really tell what being a spy in World War II was often like, because the original James Bond wasn't so much about the gadgets,
right?
So much as being, sitting around having fancy dinners and playing cards, which is what most of Casino Royale is.
I need to see that movie. There's a lot of these later Bond movies I need to see.
The book is a lot more.
Gotcha.
Okay, Book Bond is racist. He's a playboy. He's everything a British man in the 50s wanted. He eats something that isn't just boiled ham.
Really?
Most of those books, they're about British breakfasts, Jamaican women, snide remarks about Rastafarians.
Really?
It's just there's a whole lot. It's a lovely little time capsule. But Casino Royale is my favorite because he spends the whole time going after a French guy who is vaguely aligned with the communists, who has gotten on the communist bad side. He's trying to pay some debts. His name is Lucifer. He's actually really cool as a character, especially in the movie. But in the book, what's interesting is Lucifer uses gadgets to foil Bond after Bond succeeds at emptying out his bank account through high-stakes card games.
Yeah.
And then Lucifer just says, okay, I'm just going to kidnap Bond's girlfriend and force him to give me the money.
Oh, no.
And the plan actually succeeds. Bond is captured, being tortured to death, and then a communist agent shows up, kills Lucifer, and looks at Bond like, what the hell are you doing here? So this communist agent has been having an action movie while we've been watching somebody play cards. I mean, and juxtapose that from those humble beginnings to GoldenEye, where Bond is more like we know him now.
Well, that was Ian Fleming's whole thing, right? You know, as he was writing these, he wanted like his character James Bond to have these extravagant adventures.
Yeah, like it's why
different from what he had.
It's why they took off. It's like British. If you're a British mine worker in the 1950s, you're still on rationing.
Yeah.
From post-war Reconstruction, you're not. You live in England. It's raining all the time.
Yeah.
But now there's this guy you can live vicariously. You can be racist and not be called out on it because the British Empire is still important in the Bond books,
right?
Whereas it is irrelevant
yeah.
in that actual after World War II. But yeah, and over time, Bond is, and he is capable of action, but he kind of molds into what we eventually see, but of course, the Fleming dies by the time he writes Man with the Golden Gun, and Man the Golden Gun as a book is very rough around the edges.
Yeah.
The movie isn't very good either, but it does have Christopher Lee as Scaramanga.
Yeah.
And the Golden Gun in let's just get back on track. Sorry. Golden Gun is good, great cheat to have. It's a really cool, flashy little PP7.
Yes.
But yeah, so Pierce Brosnan Bond. Okay, so we don't have Ian Fleming to ask about because he's been dead for a while.
Right.
We need to reinvent Bond for this. Okay, so history ended. We defeated socialism forever.
Yep.
We don't have to worry about anything. There's never going to be a crisis of capitalism again. How are we going to make this whole thing cool? Well, we still have Russia. It's still there. It's supposedly a democracy, but they're still got all that Cold War bullshit around. Let's just go with that, and let's also make M a female.
Yeah,
because frankly, and I love the M from the movie. Because she looks at Bond and she's kind of referring to him the way Ian Fleming first wrote him, a misogynist dinosaur.
Yeah,
who
I cannot see her ever being replaced. Like, it's gonna be hard. It's up there with Q.
Replaced though.
Oh, she did.
And there is a new Q too.
Well, I know the new Q. I need to catch up on the new movies.
Anyway, but yeah, the new M was great. She was perfect for the post-Cold War role. Like, okay, we need to reassess where we are because what we were doing, it's no longer relevant, and it's kind of like Bond, like knocking about, still trying to prove his. Bond is a really good stand-in for the British Empire in a world where it's not the empire and not empires anymore. But anyway, that's a little bit too much sociology. Sorry. Anyway, so we didn't know about that. We were like fourth grade. We had social studies. And that basically just meant going over American Revolution and doing that again in fifth grade, and then sixth grade, then seventh grade, and then eighth grade.
Modern history was really rushed in the months of April and May.
Yeah, it really, and we never really got to anything important or cool.
No.
So we didn't care about any of that. All we cared about is there's this guy James that looks like there's a guy called James Bond.
Yep.
And he's white like us.
Yep.
Which means we can accomplish great things.
Yes.
With a gun. As long as we have a gun and a cool watch. We don't have to work on ourselves. We don't have to get educated. We just have to, be cool.
Just have some wits, fun. Some one-liners.
Look, it's the 90s. The good times are never going to end.
Yeah.
There is nothing will ever shatter our perception of invincibility.
No.
Within the next 10 years.
Yes.
So it was like it was a really crazy time to be alive. They got the tech boom going.
Right.
Internet's happening somewhere. Some kid in San Francisco's got a blog.
Yes.
Anyway, there's you can ask Jeeves.
Yeah.
If you have a problem on homework, you can go to the library, ask Jeeves. He'll help.
And the first level kind of just it comes running in figuratively and literally.
Yeah.
So James Bond is at the dam.
At a dam.
It's 9 years from present day, and it just leaps off of it. No care in the world.
Yeah,
bungee cords down.
You're supposed to assume there's a bungee cord there,
right? Even though in 64 days he just freaking skydives off the top of this Russian dam, which I forget exactly where it is in Russia, but it's some.
Well, there's only so many rivers in Russia, so
yeah.
Anyway,
But then we get into the facility,
And you're like hanging around the sewers and you drop down into a bathroom.
Yeah. And I remember in the movie specifically, there's the guy and he turns his paper and there's Bond.
Yeah.
And he punches him.
Oh, Boris, I woke up this morning and I just said, Natasha, this is just not going to be my day.
No, it wasn't. But then that whole level in the beginning became a staple in the gaming industry.
I was hooked. I couldn't go back to the SNES for a while.
No, that one.
I needed that N64 for Christmas after seeing that.
If you grew up during our times, or even if you played Perfect Dark, I don't know if Halo has a mod of this level or whatnot, but it is iconic.
It's you've spent a lot of time in the bathroom as a child if you played 64 or Perfect Dark.
That's right.
Because it's a very strategic position.
Yes.
There's only two ways in.
Yeah.
And there's only a small chance of spawning in the vents.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can just close the door and shoot through it to keep people away.
And this is a pretty relevant piece of history, though, for us because it introduces a few characters to us. So after you get through the facility, you've gone through, you've opened all the secret doors. It's kind of teaching you about the terminals and everything like that.
There's actual gadgets you have to use.
Right.
You can't just shoot everything.
Right. It takes you through that.
If you shoot the gas, it starts filling up with gas.
There's the doctor.
Bad.
There's the Dr.
Doak.
I don't think he was in the movie.
I don't remember him from the movie. He could be.
He's just a gimmick of this level. But then you get to that one scene. You meet Alec Trevelyan.
Yeah, you're like friends.
Yeah.
You have a working relationship. He's 006, I think.
Yeah, he is 006, and he's there with you, and he gets while he's defending you, while you're putting down the mines, he gets captured by Aramov.
Yeah, you have that really cool moment where it's like half of everything is luck, James.
Yeah.
Then the alarms go off.
Yeah.
Fate.
It's like you were supposed to be my buddy, type of deal. But yeah, you plant the mines. He gets shot in the head, and if you wait there long enough, you don't have to wait there. But if you do, Aramov has a lot of dialogue.
He does
there, and I know, like me in 5th grade, just rushed through it and got the heck out of there as quick as he can. But you set off the bombs, and it's assumed Alec is dead. You have no. I mean, he shot him in the head.
Yeah, that's pretty definitive.
Yeah,
usually. Only a Bond villain comes back from that.
Oh yeah, only a Bond. That's a good line. Only a Bond villain comes back from that. But then that level ends. The place is blowing up. Gas is going everywhere, and now you're at the runway.
Yeah, you get to the runway. There's a tank there, but that's not important. You need to get to the plane.
That's right. Although, did you do the tank? I always bum rush the tank.
I love going for the tank and just like spending the entire time waiting for the alarms to bring more meat for me.
Yes, just seeing how many. Even though I think like to get the achievement for secret agent or 00 agent, you have to beat it within a certain time.
Yeah, you definitely need to ignore the tank and actually use inventive ways to take out the gun emplacements and things like that.
But the first time you roll out, and in the movie he has this cool like little barrel roll thing that he does out the chute. And you make a beeline left, and there's a control terminal that you have to turn down. Oh wait, is it control? No, you get a safe key from that guy, and you open up, and you get some plans out of a safe that's there.
Oh, okay.
But then you go over to the tank, and then the fun begins. So 007 on the 64 is already hitting you with a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I almost wish you could have had the tank in one of the multiplayer levels. I don't remember if you could, but that would have been epic.
We had to wait for Halo to run for the tanks.
Vehicle piloting wasn't a thing just yet.
It doesn't matter. The game's pretty forgiving.
Yeah, but as you're going down, you're running people over with this tank. There's the Wilhelm scream going on. And then there's 2 turrets on the side, like missile turrets. You got to take out the missile turrets or you're not flying away.
Yeah,
it's just a little single engine prop plane that you're getting out. You're going to be shot.
Yeah.
But I remember that being kind of difficult. So you've got those 2 missile things. Sure, those are fine. But then the Gatling guns at the very end of the runway, where you had to figure out the physics of or the trajectory of the missile and hit those without dying, because those things ripped you apart quick. Anyway, So that you get those all taken out, and you get into the plane.
Yeah, and you gotta make sure not to destroy the plane by accident by like running it over with the tank.
Or shooting it when you don't when you're kind of on
if it
edge
gets too
and you
black
hit the trigger tenor.
and dark and charcoal, it's no longer usable.
You can't use it. And there was always that that just anticlimactic explosion. Yeah. But then the crappy part, if you blew up the plane, the level didn't end.
Yeah,
it just waited
failed.
for you to die, and then it ended. So you could run around there for a really long time.
Yeah, just
holding out.
drive the tank to civilization.
Then where do we end up after that?
Well,
so it's four. We go
you
forward
jump
5
forward.
years.
5 years, yeah.
5 years.
Your friend's dead, but you've moved on.
Yeah, and we're at the we're in Siberia.
Yeah, you go to Siberia to surface.
Because we've heard, I guess he got sent out on a mission. I forget the mission briefing.
Okay, so
this.
there's the Soviets or Russia. I'm not sure if the Soviet Union is still a thing at this point in the game's chronology, but there's apparently a top secret EMP weapon called GoldenEye that they're working on.
Yes.
You need plans for it. And so you go to this base to infiltrate and get those plans. Of course, this means running around the surface, dinking around with their shit for a while.
The first surface wasn't too bad. It's the second surfaces where there's like an infinite amount of people with sniper rifles.
Yeah.
Like
sniper
the whole
rifles
platoon on that base is nothing but snipers. It's like, what the hell? But yeah, you got to go. What do you got to do? You got to power down the dish. That's the main.
Yeah, power
thing.
down the dish, and then
main
there's
thing
like
you gotta
a
do.
thing. Like it took me forever. There's like an entrance you have to cut your way into
Yes.
to access the bunker.
Yeah. You can do it. You can do it with a gun, but that's not that cool.
Yeah, you need the laser, the cool laser.
You need the grenade launcher.
Okay, that's cool. That's the cooler way to do it.
There's this grenade launcher, and if you get it perfectly, if you get it perfectly centered on the gate, then you can destroy all 4 locks and just go down. And the screen. The little cinema scene to get in there, he does the little, like,
but he's doing it with the
at both
grenade
sides.
launcher.
He does it with the grenade launcher, just obscure, really huge.
You gotta pose with the grenade
anti-tank
launcher.
weapon.
It's like it's like a bunch. It's like a prom photo.
Yeah, you've got this giant thing. Just imagine having this. I don't know how long it is.
It's like you throw a. It's like there's a bunch of
2 or
girls
3.
getting a prom photo, and like here, take some props for that pose with this grenade launcher. That's what it would look like.
2 or 3 feet long weapon. But that's
There you go. You're in the bunker now. So,
But yeah, you are in the bunker, and I forget what all you're supposed to do
you're
other
doing a lot.
than you have to get the GoldenEye key.
Yeah, you have to restrain your childish desire for explosions
Yes.
because you need to take photos of things and be a spy.
Yeah, this is the first level that it can really hurt you if you set off the alarms.
Yeah.
Because as you're going around, you've really got to go into spy mode. There's cameras panning back everywhere, and you got to look around the corner, make sure you shoot those. Otherwise, these like black-suited special forces start coming in just wave after wave until you turn an alarm off. And if you don't have anywhere to click B or A on one of those wall
there's
alarms,
a little wall alarm,
it just keeps going, and they keep coming. But yeah, you infiltrate your way around. You make it into the main computer room where you've got
cool.
2 or 3 things to do here. One, you got to capture Boris.
Yeah.
And you got to get the GoldenEye key, which is just laying out on a desk.
Yeah.
You pick it up, you copy it with your briefcase thing that you're holding around.
I'm going to put it back after lunch. But
Yeah. You throw that back on the floor. Nothing conspicuous about that. You snap a couple photos of the main, like I call it a NOC screen, the Network Operations Center is what it is in IT. But and then you got to hold Boris at gunpoint, where he takes you into that one little room that has the main terminal, and that's where you learn that Boris is kind of a nasty guy because he makes the password all capital letters knockers.
Yeah.
So anyway, once you're done with him, you escape, and then you fast forward. Was another 2 years?
Another 2 years, I think, to Silo.
To Silo. That's right, because there. I think we pieced this together. This one wasn't really in the movie.
It's not in the movie, no. It's just like establishing that the MI6 was keeping tabs on this GoldenEye project
Yeah.
from planning to launch.
Right. It's showing kind of that montage of homework there. Homework. they're
Yeah.
doing. But here your whole point is to snap photos of the comically small GoldenEye satellite.
Yeah, it's really
up
dinky
there.
little thing.
It's a timed mission. You gotta put these plastic bombs on all the fuel cells.
Yeah, the little plastic.
Which-
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I experimented and
Oh.
shot the bomb
Yeah.
just to see
If
what
you-
would go on. The entire place goes up in flames.
And if you have the invincibility code on, you just walk around while people die around you. Like you're,
you're going to lose the mission because of scientist casualties
Yeah.
at that point. But at the same time, and funny thing about the Nintendo 64 on that, when you shoot the plastic bomb, the explosion actually follows you.
Yeah.
So the whole place isn't blowing up because the whole place hasn't loaded yet.
Yeah, you need
So
to load
wherever
and then
your character is, there's a defined radius of
death.
explosion. So you are just a walking explosion at
Yeah.
that point. Anyway, it's where you meet Aramov. For
Oh yes.
because he's
He's at the end of that hallway.
yeah, and he's got his briefcase and he's running with it. It doesn't have any sway effects.
I think there was a way to kill him, and I think does the game?
Was there?
I'm pretty sure if you have the golden gun, you can kill him. And I don't know if that makes the mission a failure, but you can get that briefcase as an item. I think.
Yeah, as you shoot him, he drops the briefcase.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the hell's in the briefcase.
I don't remember.
It's important. It's important documents that you need. After that, you get in the elevator. Of course, if you have any obnoxious gun with you, it's pretty funny because it clips through the
Yeah.
on
On a time limit here, but I've got to pose.
Yeah.
As I walk through this door.
But then that brings us into present day,
Yeah.
and I can't remember the next.
Well,
level.
in the movie, you go to there's a you see Zinnia on a top stealing a helicopter
that's right.
because she has she got in deep with that one French captain, and he was like, Zinnia, I can't breathe.
Yeah. Where did we go back to Severnaya?
I don't think so, not yet,
Not yet.
because she steals the attack helicopter for their plan,
Right.
because they bring the helicopter in the movie to Severnaya to get the GoldenEye and set it off for the to cover their escape,
That's right.
because the helicopter is immune to EMP.
That's right. And Natalia survived that.
Yes.
That.
So in the
attack.
game, we go to the frigate because in the game the frigate has been taken over,
Yes.
and we had to save the French.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Monte Carlo.
That was a hell of a mission, especially on the higher levels. The 00 agent or 007, saving all the hostages is a nightmare.
It's real like when you're a kid, you've got like all these cool guns to play with. Like, okay,
Yeah.
calm your tits, bitch.
Yeah.
You really need to slow down and
Yeah.
think about this.
Yeah.
Remember what Bruce Willis did in Die Hard? You got to do that.
Yeah. Each room is kind of a puzzle in how you're going to effectively murder 3 or 4 people and save the hostage.
Yeah, it's
And you can't. I can't remember what it is, but I don't think you can just go in there wildly shooting because 2 of the rooms have plastic bombs.
oh yeah.
And if you blow them up,
you blow up the computer
yeah,
they're sitting on.
Forget it. You're done. Now there were a couple of times to where I accidentally shot the computer and it made that little black outline, but you still see the plastic bomb sitting on top.
Yeah, it's
because
just
it didn't-
fine.
It didn't trigger, or that specific boundary wasn't breached, so it didn't fall and blow up. But the whole point to that is similar to the movie. You got to get the tracking bug on that.
So you can figure out where the helicopter is, because it's
Yeah.
a stealth helicopter.
Yeah.
Wouldn't work otherwise.
No, and that's where you're right. You track them back
To Severnaya.
Severnaya, that installation, and this is the pain in the butt. Severnaya Part 2
Yeah.
is the sniper platoon unit has been deployed.
Yeah, they've got a big helicopter, which is apparently it's one of those it's one of those Soviet helicopters that doubles as a tank.
Yeah.
It's a troop transport. It's armored all to hell. and it looks goofy.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that we just don't have anymore because
Now I can't remember. Do we blow it up?
yeah, you blow it up. I think
That's
To
right.
its- I don't know why, but hell, it's
Like
it's
one
there.
remote mine.
It's one of the few.
done.
It's one of the few missions that I didn't have too much of a problem with, specifically because I don't have to constrain myself.
Oh my
There's
god.
something that explodes. I'm gonna make it explode.
Yeah, that part wasn't too bad. It's just the rest of the environment. It's at night.
It's really
there's
cool
like
looking.
there's a snowstorm going on, so visibility is terrible.
Yeah.
So when you're and the whole time you just hear the little noise of that sniper rifle, that pew pew whatever it is, hitting you from all over creation. You got to go around. You again have to deal with the security cameras.
Mm-hmm.
You steal some plans, you get some keys. You don't drop into the bunker
You just walk
this
right in.
time. You walk right in the front door after you've
Then you pose
done everything, and
with
you
the sniper
pose
rifle. You know,
while they're capturing. You're like, "Welcome to 7-Eye, Mr. Bond."
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then we enter bunker part 2.
This was one of my favorite missions as a kid.
Yeah, it was.
It's like,
lot of cool things happen in that.
like if you
right?
can't figure out exactly how to get out of your little iron bar cage, while Natalia is like, "So what are you doing here?" Like, don't worry, I have a cunning plan, and you try the sick man routine on the guard.
Yeah, she taunts you kind of the whole time, like, "Oh, that worked out well, Mr. Spy."
So you have to use your magnet watch to pull a key off the hook,
Yeah,
open the gate, and then karate chop the guard, or
yeah.
get those
or-
knives.
Yeah, get the
which are in the
get
well.
the knives. It took me forever to figure out. I think like an issue of Nintendo Power or something told me about
That sounds
those.
about right.
But yeah, if you do fake sick or he does leave, yeah, you get the key. You don't have to karate chop him, but next time he comes in, you can throw those knives at him, which those you can pick back up. It was one of the few things that you could shoot and then go recover. And I remember trying to go through most of the level with just those knives because they were
Yeah.
so silent.
And if you set off the alarms in this, this is a very well populated bunker. They've got a good.
There's a lot of people in this.
They keep
bunker.
a full staff here,
Yeah.
and I love those doors with the glass windows because you can use them as like a little fort
Yeah,
to try to defend yourself as they come down the hallway. But it's easy to get swarmed though.
it is easy to get swarmed. You kind of have to be able to. You have to have good aiming because this is back in the day where there were no auto aim.
Yeah,
You could hit the R button and you could use the joystick to kind of feel your way around it, but it wasn't going to automatically aim if you were in the higher difficulties. I think
Mhm.
for Agent maybe it did, but not for like 00 or Special Agent. I can't remember where the auto targeting stopped, but there definitely was a point where it did, and it didn't do it through doors to the best of my knowledge.
generally.
Well, there was a lot you had to do in that.
Yeah, you go to a
Turning off
safe,
terminal,
get some
getting
documents.
getting some documents, and then your whole point is to
Just escape.
just escape from there.
And once you've escaped, don't look too much into it. You had a way out. There was a
Yeah.
jet ski that turned into a helicopter or something.
Something like that. Anyway, where did we go from there?
I believe.
Luke, you might have to.
I
help
don't know.
us
I
out
can't.
on this
Oh
one.
shit! Where did we go? Okay.
because I can't
because
remember
we
if
go-
it's the.
Do we go straight to the statue graveyard there? I
Oh,
don't know if we
that's-
do
That's right. We probably
because
did.
we do have the We have the tracking beacon on the helicopter. We've been following it.
Yeah, and so now
There might be a level in between now and then, but that's
No,
the big thing. That's the story beat.
That's the big thing. So we get the statue. We get to Statue Park.
And I love this part.
The music in it.
The music.
It's very. It's like Soviet Russian. It's
you
that
see all the
whole-
statues of Lenin that are being disposed
Yeah.
of because it's no longer the Soviet Union. It's now the Russian Federation.
Yeah, and in it you've got to meet. Well, in the movie,
Only good things are going to happen.
Only in the movie you have he goes and meets Valentine
Yeah, he doesn't stick
at
around
his
too
like
much.
own establishment, but in the game Valentine is at Statue Park, so you meet up with him.
Yeah,
And he tells you that he's arranged the meeting with Yanis.
I just walked. Oh yeah, I just met him. He's down there.
Yeah, he's like he's cool with you as long as you come with a 6-pack. He's fine, but just remember it is bring your own beer It is BYOB.
Yeah.
Just make it quick. Don't waste
Man,
his
you
time.
could have such a cool punk rock party at a statue graveyard.
And I love that scene in the movie where he's
There's backlight.
yeah, and he walks out. He's got his gun posed, and he goes, "Alec."
Yeah, that was so good.
That was one of the first movies that I was truly
Back from
impacted by a scene. Back from the dead, James. But
It was
in
not
there,
God who gave me this face.
it's not like the movie. So when he comes out in the game, he's got 4 dudes there, and all of them have shotguns that are gonna rip your little ass apart. So that's already tough. But he GTOFs and GTFO get the fudge out,
Yep.
and then you take out all the shotgun guys.
Escape.
And you get the new shotgun. You run back through. There's shotgun fellas everywhere. You find Natalia somewhere near
She's near the helicopter. You
near
need
the
to wake her
helicopter.
up
You get her woke up.
and move her away.
You go down the little hill, shotgun a few other guys down there. It blows up.
Then you get
Before you go through the gate, though, you got to find the black box.
Yeah, and I think it changes where it is depending.
It does. So when it blows up, obviously
So-
it scatters somewhere.
Yeah, and if there's like a few like achievements you need or cheats to unlock where you need to get it under a certain time limit, so you just have to replay the level until you get somewhere close.
So
where you know it is.
after that, you go through the gates, and like clockwork, you're captured again.
Yeah, turns out there was an explosion in a the statue graveyard. You're the only suspect.
It might
But with you
attract
being
it might attract attention.
yeah. So now you're in
The military archives.
yeah, military archives. You're like in a little room with the defense minister or whatever.
Defense Minister Minchkin. I loved him in the movie, and they
Yeah.
actually portrayed him pretty well.
He's portrayed well. I mean,
for polygon graphics, that's not bad.
yeah, and he comes across as okay. So Russia is now a democracy, and I'm sure that's going to play out just fine.
Yeah.
And but there's some bad apples in Russia
Yeah.
still. Like
Yeah.
there's like a lot of Soviet generals after like, oh, okay, so we're capitalists now, huh?
Yeah,
so that means I do everything in my power to make money,
Yeah,
and I have a lot of power,
these ex-KGB guys.
so I can use this GoldenEye satellite to enact some kind of weird heist.
Yeah,
And it's up to, and honestly, that would be virtuous
yeah,
because we're not socialists anymore.
that's
So
right.
we have to make money,
Yes.
and you are standing in my way.
Yep.
So I'm going to shoot you with Bond's gun.
This is
Give the gun back to Bond
yeah.
after shooting myself. Of course.
Yeah, this is the obvious thing to do here.
Yeah. I mean, this is rational.
But
Logical.
Defense Minister Minchkin has that line. It seems that you are out of order, Oromov. Something along those lines.
Yeah, you stole a helicopter and
and
nuked
then you're unlike the movie. The movie, Natalia and Bond are in the same room, but in the game,
Yeah.
it's just you with 2 dudes.
in the movie, you meet Bond and Natalia meet in the helicopter. She doesn't
Yeah.
even know his name. She's just trying to wake
Yeah.
him up because he's in the cockpit and they have
Yeah.
to escape before he explodes.
Yeah.
But in this, yeah, you're both there and you have to escape.
Yeah. So in the video game, you get out and you have to find her. She's in another room being
Yeah.
held hostage. You get in there and you shoot shoot the guys, and then you do some other things. But your main point is
To escape.
To escape.
You have to shoot your way out of a window.
You shoot the window, and then you two have another glorious moment where you're posing for the camera
Yeah.
on the streets of is it St. Petersburg?
St. Petersburg.
I
yes.
think it is St. Petersburg. Anywhere, somewhere, the game does a horrible job
yeah.
of portraying.
Well,
this.
Natalia has been captured.
Yeah, you guys are sitting there victorious, right? At the end of
Yeah,
military archives, but then you go into it, and if you read the mission briefing, because somehow you got some papers, someone
Yeah,
hands you papers before you go onto the streets. It's like, oh no, Natalia's been captured by Armov, and they're
Emma's
speeding
doing a
off.
good job.
Yeah,
she's doing a
doing-
good job. She's getting
that's-
updates to the people in
For
the field.
a pre-cell phone world, that's
It's good.
That's pretty good. Like some guy, they legitimately had a runner give it to
Yeah.
him. Anyway, so streets of St. Petersburg,
You got
and
a tank.
it's tank.
You got a
it's tank
tank.
part 2, and it is one of the
You're sup-
best missions.
You're supposed to limit civilian casualties.
Yeah. So you actually do meet up with Valentine.
Yeah,
again here.
he just loves hanging out around
Yeah,
you.
and he's like, he went that way.
yeah, you take your tank.
There, here's
not
the
to-
keys. Don't take the tank.
Don't destroy my car, please.
Yeah. What's great about this compared to the movie? So in the movie, it's a car chase scene, basically, right?
You tear through a wall.
Yeah, there's walls being torn. Arm is saying use the bumper. That's what it's for. But in the 64 game, it's just you taking a casual stroll.
Just destroying St. Petersburg.
Yeah, not even going in a straight line.
Someone has put
around.
anti-tank mines in the road ahead of you.
Yeah.
I distinctly remember that because, we had the weekly reader back in when this game came out.
Yeah.
And, we had just finally banned the use of landmines, which really dates this game because we're using them again because, we're not pussies anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We're perfectly fine with destroying children's legs.
Yes.
For dubious value.
America.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the rotten future. We're still in glorious 90s.
Yes.
And, you have to do something about these mines because it's not safe for people to drive over anti-tank minefields. So you, of course, use your gun to destroy the minefields.
That's.
I don't know if that was an objective, but it helps.
No, while you're sitting on top of the tank, you can still drive it and have your gun out. So you've got this gun, two-handed weapon while you're still driving it. I guess with your feet. Bond's a multi-talented individual.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the end of it, he hops out of the tank, and we go into the depot level. We actually had to look this one up
I
for
forgot about it. I completely spaced on depot.
I watched the movie recently, and they go from streets of St. Petersburg just straight into the military train.
Yeah,
for
it's
this
one of those Jack Wade CIA.
Yeah, it's like during development, they're like, no, we need X amount of levels. You're X -1 right now. Put in another level.
Yeah, and apparently they can't just bring to life the glorious scene where Bond demands to see Jack Wade's ass.
Yes. To
prove that he's actually CIA.
Yes.
Third wife.
Muffy? But no, in the depot, it's a straight run and gun mission. They put some things in there for fluff. So you got to take out a computer network. You get a couple of keys. You take down some of the Yana special guard. And then you find your way to the train and you bust your way in. And that's almost an irrelevant level.
Yeah.
Whole point, get to the train. And now we're on the military train, which Jack Wade told us in the movie. It's one of those trains they used to run around the country so that we couldn't target them. I guess they had high-profile individuals on
and missiles, and mobile launching.
A distinct-looking train.
It's very cool.
It's Russian.
It's still got the red star on it, so
yeah. Absolutely.
It's way cooler than Amtrak.
Yeah, it is a hunk of iron going.
I mean, we have trains, but they mostly just like haul coal and stuff.
So I love this mission because when you're doing it, like you're knocking on the passenger doors. It looks like a passenger train, and in there's a guard with a gun. He's like, "What?" Bam.
Like he was just like going on his way to Hogwarts.
Yeah.
With Ron Weasley, and then Bond shows up and kills him.
As you're going through it, you have to take out the brakes on the train as well. And they're just like little power outlets at the bottom.
Yeah,
bottom
okay,
corner.
so maybe OSHA didn't.
No,
OSHA might have something to say about this.
No, this was a different level of engineering. But you shoot those, and you make your way all the way to the end of the train, where there's Natalia and Alec and
Xenia. We see her for the first time.
Xenia's introduced.
Like the little
So in the movie, whenever everybody comes together, Alec and Xenia make their exit, and it's just you and Natalia left over. And in the game, it pretty much follows that same suit.
Yeah,
so she goes to the computer terminal and starts tracking where they're heading, right? And it's the famous scene where she's going, Havana. They're in Cuba. But Alec comes over the PA and is like, "Hey, Bond, I set the timer for 6 minutes, the same 6 minutes that you gave me." And I think we skipped over this detail, but back on the facility level, whenever he's getting ready to be shot, Alec yells out, blow them all to hell." But he doesn't immediately just blow it. He sets the time in half for 3 minutes, just enough time for Bond to get out of there.
But Alec didn't know it. He was still
know
banking
that.
on 6
So
minutes.
he's really mad about this.
And he
So
has burnt face because of it.
Yeah, yes. And
That's how he became the two-faced Roman god.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Two-faced Roman god.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't God who gave me this face.
'Twas you.
It was you.
Statue Park line.
I had thought about bringing you into this little scheme.
Yes, he did. Which was interesting for a villain to say, because I can't recall another one where they're like trying to actually decide who they're going to surround themselves with. Like, you're only as good in management, you're only as good as you surround the people that surrounds you.
But Bond is still a patriot.
Yeah, the Bond is definitely for England.
Yeah. But Alec, the game doesn't really communicate this, but in the movie, it's like he is a Lien's Cossack.
Yeah.
Is this true? Like Aramov doesn't like time. Man, Aramov, you are terrible.
He is not processing this.
Terrible
fast
intelligence officer.
Yeah, but
he's a Lien's Cossack.
Yeah,
his family supported the Nazis during World War II, and the British betrayed them.
You know your history, Mr. Bond. I'll give you that. But
he's a Lien's Cossack.
But yeah, he gives you those 6 minutes, which means you have 3 minutes. You got to use the watch laser to burn
your way out.
to cut your way out of the train,
and then run away.
And you guys run away.
Then pose in front of the destroyed train.
Pose in front of the train, and it of course blows up from there.
So you know they're in Cuba.
Yeah. So they head to Cuba.
And and Cuba's of course like basically Vietnam. It's just a jungle.
As you're going there, though, you're shot down.
Yeah, you got a little biplane. Bond loves this biplane model.
Yeah, I guess he kept it from the first.
Yeah,
it was a tribute from the runway because it looks exactly the same.
I think they just had the asset, and you know why
they're still in that wartime mentality. We got to reuse everything,
and the programmers have a lot to do to make this game what it is. Just let them reuse the plane.
Yeah, in the movie is actually kind of a cool shot right before him because he's driving the little BMW, and then Jack Wade actually gives him the plane. Back. Somehow it got into the U.S. custody, and Jack Wade. So he handed over the keys. He took the convertible, and Bond took the.
I forgot about that.
And while they're doing, I don't know what they thought was going to happen,
but they get shot down.
Yeah, but they're flying literally over this like football stadium sized satellite dish, and a missile flies up out of the lake that the satellite dish is being covered up by, and shoots them down. Enter jungle level.
Yeah. And Natalia has a gun of her own. She's got camo pants.
Yeah,
she means business.
Yeah, you can see some midriff.
Yeah, and it's not just like a dinky little pistol. She's got a hand cannon.
Yeah, this one. If there was a game close to Tomb Raider, this is what
there were several moments where like I forgot about a enemy soldier and I was hiding behind a tree. Natalia walks up behind him and calmly executes him.
Yeah, she's got that. She had the Magnum, didn't she?
Yeah,
yeah.
It's powerful. It's actually like it makes me like, oh God, I feel sorry for that guy.
Yeah, it probably split some bone whenever it hit.
Yeah, and towards the end of that level, you get to the rope bridge.
The rope bridge.
And Xenia shows up.
Yeah, and of course
armed to the teeth.
Yeah, she's got an RPC-90 and a grenade launcher. Like, wow, lady. The fact that you can one-hand both of those is impressive. But you kind of have an advantage because
she's crossing the bridge as you meet her. So.
And the music kicks on. It actually takes a few minutes for her to start running across. So you can perch behind a tree. You can get your AR. What is it? The AR
55.
55.
I don't know.
It's an AR 50.
It's plausible deniability. No trademark.
Yeah. But anyway, you perch yourself behind a tree. You aim at the very far end of the rope bridge, and you wait for her to start coming along. But if memory serves me correctly, if you're on some of the higher ones, there's not enough bullets to kill her coming across that. So you do spend a little more time
playing cat and mouse and avoiding explosions.
Yeah. But once you get that, the rest of the level is pretty cut and dry. You go straight through, kill a few more guys, and enter the
caverns, I think.
No, not the caverns. It's one before that. It's Control.
Ah, yes.
This was the bane of my existence. So in the movie, after they crucify Xenia on that
she
tree,
gets attached to a
instead of the rope
helicopter.
bridge. I guess they couldn't replicate that in the game. But they enter the control area for where they're plotting out the it's a heist of the Bank of London, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're going to cover it up with the EMP from the
Yeah.
satellite.
So that's where Bond has his famous line in the movie of just a common bank robber. Anyway, this one you escape, you get your gun, and your whole point is to get Natalia down to the kind of a central computer area so that you can protect her from just an onslaught of enemies.
Well, she does something to foil their plans, but yeah.
Yeah, she's trying to make the GoldenEye satellite burn up in Earth's
Yeah,
lower
okay,
orbit,
yeah.
and by changing the trajectory
yeah.
of it. So as she's doing that, I remember dying on this so many times. But there's glass all around the bottom level. I think there's some on the second
Like,
level.
it serves to alert you that there's people shooting through it at her.
Yeah. You start to hear that pop, 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 and the glass sound that it had. So there's people coming at you from all sides, coming down the stairs. Nobody has any explosives, but they all have automatic weapons. Mostly the DK5s, I think, is mostly what's in that level. But anyway, once you get her saved, then you guys go into the. Actually, it's just you that goes into the caverns. Natalia's safe. You get her to the elevator, and she's fine. But then you go into the caverns, where I think this wasn't in the movie, but it makes sense whenever we go back and reflect on it. He's trying to make it to where the satellite dish can't reposition or move.
Yeah.
So there's inlet and outlet water pumps and whatnot that you got to destroy. I think in the movie, the base of the satellite's under a lake.
Yeah, that's how they
like
conceal
there's
it.
that whole big dramatic scene of the water going away.
Yeah,
and they all
so
realize,
that's why the caverns.
oh my
yeah,
god,
that's that controls.
which that's
that.
a real life satellite doing something.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I forget what
something like that.
What they actually have it for, but then the thing we've been leading up for, we're confronting Alec.
Yeah, the cradle to the grave, your grave, James.
Yeah. So the mission is just it's actually very fast. It's like 3 minutes.
Just kill Alec.
Yeah.
But
so you're chasing him all around. He's shooting at you.
And then you shoot him, and then he runs.
You got to hit him a certain amount of times before he goes for the excuse me. Before he goes through the to the bottom center of the satellite, where he goes down onto the bottom portion of that satellite.
Yeah, a little
dish.
small platform. It's very easy to fall off of.
Very easy to fall off of. Anyway, you shoot him a few times in the head on there, and then he falls.
Yeah, he falls dramatically off.
In the movie, he's hanging on, like Bond's holding him by his arm, and he goes,
"For England, James."
And James looks at him, "No, for me."
Yeah,
and then he lets him go. And he actually
survives
the fall.
And he gets impaled by the entire cradle as it comes down.
Which that's the way a Bond villain goes out.
Yeah.
The best part of this is the glitch that happens. So once he's fallen off and you make your jump toward the helicopter, which in the movie he hangs on to the side.
Yeah, the side rail.
I'm telling you, more often than not, does the helicopter take off, my guy's still floating there in space, and then it's like, oh, yep,
he forgets where he was supposed to be.
He forgets where I'm supposed to be, and then the credit sequence after that is just him and Natalia making out in the jungle
over the credits. Yeah,
over the credits, and it's so long, and they just don't quit.
Did you ever do that thing where you tilt the cartridge to make it corrupt and it causes the characters to spaz out?
I never knew that was a thing.
Yeah, if you do that with the helicopter, it'll like fling around while you're holding on. If you do it while they're making out, they'll just start their legs will start kicking through each other.
Oh my god!
Like they're break dancing.
No.
It's that was so fun. That was so much
good.
90s fun. So fun.
But
so much fun.
That's GoldenEye.
And then you unlock those 2 secret levels, which are hallmarks to movies you probably didn't know existed when you were little.
I didn't. I thought they were going to be continuations of the GoldenEye game. Moonraker is one of the
like it's
levels.
Aztec, I think.
Aztec is the other Egyptian one with the what's his name?
Baron Samedi.
Well, Baron Samedi
there, isn't he?
Is the guy from is the one from the New Orleans movie. But the dude with the jaw, the like iron jaw.
Oh, Jaws, yes. He's in a
yeah.
lot of movies, actually. Moonraker, yeah. He's in other movies, too, I think.
But yeah,
And he becomes a friend.
the
apparently-
the laser gun was one of my favorites.
I think in the Moonraker movie, he's just stuck in a space station with that girlfriend of his. I don't know if he ever gets home.
I have to go back. I have to go back and watch them.
We need to shape up on our Jaws lore.
Oh yeah, Jaws lore is lacking.
But yeah,
on
you can
this
play
cast.
as Jaws though in the
Yeah,
game.
you can.
Generally speaking, you want to play as Oddjob because
Yes.
you're a little
If you don't have
sneaky.
if you don't have the auto aim on,
you just can't really. You have
it's-
to aim
it's
Laura.
hard.
There's a you
it's
have
hard.
To,
And if you
generally wanna-
kneel with turbo mode on, it's forget it.
That's
Just
why you have to
forget it.
ban Oddjob from
Yeah.
anyone's.
No one
basement.
plays Oddjob. I played Oddjob all the time.
Yeah.
I also played Elvis in Perfect Dark all the
Yeah,
time.
I love it. Perfect Dark. You can make your own character, just stick other people's heads on
Oh
Elvis'
my
body.
god, yeah. You could swap the bodies and the heads. A lot of good times there.
Baron Samedi was really creepy as a boss in that level you
he was
fight him.
creepy as a boss. He was creepy in the movies too.
Because you come out and he's laughing after you leave and think he's dead.
yes. Oh,
And the
God.
book, originally Baron Samedi was linked to another character I think comes up in a movie. I can't remember his actual name. He's a big guy, like Mr. Biggins or whatever.
I don't remember.
He's okay. He's a big black guy, and the book version of this is frustrating because he's well characterized as a hyper intelligent man, and more than a match for Bond. He's powerful. He commands respect, and he has perpetuated this myth of himself as being the avatar of Baron Samedi.
Mm.
So Baron Samedi is just this guy who may or may not is most likely just using his education
Right.
and connections to project this view of him, but he is also absurdly powerful physically. And Bond, of course, is being racist throughout the entire thing. Well, he's half white, so I can understand him being a supervillain.
Wow.
That's where he's getting the brains from, I imagine. That's where I can see where he's
Wow.
coming from. Anyway, that movie is actually really cool because Bond, I think that book, it might be the second book. I can't remember what book it was, but in that book, Bond is yet again at the villain's mercy and only
Yeah.
escapes by luck because
Yeah.
he put bombs on a boat but then gets captured.
Right.
And then this guy says, I'm going to drag you across a coral reef and let the sharks have you.
Yeah.
But then while he's being dragged out to sea, the ship explodes.
Oh wow.
And the villain survives and starts swimming towards Bond, but then the sharks kill him instead.
Yeah.
But so that's how Baron Samedi goes out in the book. But Baron Samedi in the movie, yeah, he's really cool. He's just always cool.
I have to go back and watch some of these.
I need to watch the one with Mayday. I can't remember which one that was.
I need to watch the more recent ones. I haven't.
I
had
need
the
to watch
time
more Bond movies. I mean, we're supposed to be
with all these remakes coming out for Switch. They need to remake or at least give an HD graphical uplift to GoldenEye. I need some of that couch co-op going on.
Yeah.
More. Which I
Split
don't-
screen, four little screens.
Yeah. I remember on Cody's big. We thought that 42-inch was humongous back then.
Yeah. Now
Of course, it was in relative
It
to
was.
its size, but
still bigger than the one I've got.
That was my first multiplayer experience. Like that's what spawned Perfect Dark and Halo being fun for me. Anyway,
Yeah. So GoldenEye, that was the ultimate party game.
that was definitely
It was yeah, and it's a great little time capsule. I love it says so much about the culture that spawned it,
Yeah.
the doomed culture that spawned it.
Yes. Yes. Anyway, that's GoldenEye. If you want to hear more about these games and subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell. I'm not wearing one. You saw it on Bo last week, but we've got our new shirts up. Check those out. They really help support the show. And we'll see you guys next week.
The 90s will always live while we do.
The 90s will always live. Thank you.